Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Three Men in Football. All right lads?
Hi Thomas, Simon, how are we?
Hi boys, how are we?
All good. So we're starting our new predictions video that we're going to put out maybe on a Friday, just to give everyone a view on what we think is going to happen over the weekend in the games. We're going to get straight into it. We're going to talk a bit about what we think is going to happen and maybe give a prediction on the scores. And we're kicking off this week with Chelsea versus Crystal Palace at Chelsea. What are you thinking, Thomas?
1-1.
Why?
Because Chelsea are all over the place. Chelsea, I thought you just wanted to be prediction.
Oh my God, that was brilliant.
Chelsea are all over the place. And I'm really impressed with how well Palace have started the season, and Zaha in particular has looked really sharp. I didn't really think Thiago Silva did much, he had a poor first game, and I don't think it gets any easier in the Premiership, and I think it's going to take him a few weeks to settle in. Chelsea's formation, like we've talked about in the last podcast, they're slightly all over the place. Lads not tracking people properly and not knowing where they should be. So I think it'll be a tight game, 1-1.
Daz, I want your score in a minute, but what do you think about potentially Benteke going to Tottenham? How weird is that?
I think that's
today.
Yeah, I think that's bizarre. I think Tottenham wouldn't play to Benteke's strengths, like it happened at Liverpool. He didn't play to his strengths. Yeah. I think that's a desperation buy, and I wonder if Tottenham haven't got the money they think they have because of the new stadium.
Yeah, maybe plan B.
And they've gone for cheaper options.
So what do you think of that game?
Chelsea 2-1. I think they might just have enough Chelsea. Frank seems to be a bit lucky at the moment, so I think they'll just get enough against Palace.
Okay, I'm going to go 3-1 for Chelsea. I think Chelsea might come good this week because I think they'll get better and better as the weeks go on. And I think, although I really like Crystal Palace's midfield, I think they're dodgy at the back. So I think there's a chance for Chelsea to get a 3-1 win. Okay, next up is Everton versus Brighton at Goodison Park. What are you thinking, Dan?
I think Everton could actually turn it on here and go for a 3-0 win. I think Calvin Lewis hit form. They seem to have a confidence about them. They look decent at the back, apart from Pickford. Obviously, he's not being great. But I do think Everton have got a nice flow about them now, and confidence is high. I think they'll win 3-0.
Thomas?
2-0 Brighton. I really think Brighton have started the season like a house on fire. They absolutely battered Chelsea at times in the first game. They were superb against Man United. Just did hit the post and bar 4 to 5 times in a game. And I think the way they move the ball, I think they'll give Everton a really tough game. And I think they'll turn Everton over. I think Everton's run after their special song went to number 1 will put them off.
So I reckon Everton 3-2. So
Ooh,
I agree. Brighton have started really well, but I think Everton will just have too much for them. But I think it's inevitable that Brighton are going to score at least one because Pickford is useless. And I like Mopé. I really like Lamptey, who got another penalty at the weekend. By the way, There's not anyone in the Premier League that's won more penalties so far. I think they've started really well. They'll get a couple of goals, but Everton will get a couple. And I do think that Calvert-Lewin will score again. And I think Rodriguez will get one as well. Okay, next up is Leeds versus Man City at Leeds. Keeping in mind, Leeds play a pressing game, City play a pressing game. City are crap at the back. Thoughts, Daz?
I'm going to go for a score draw. I'm going to go for 2-2.
Nice. Any
the reason basically is I think Leeds will just work hard and they'll go at City, and I think City at the moment just haven't got the confidence. I think the defence is everywhere. I think midfield's too slow with the ball, and I think Leeds' high press, high energy game will upset City.
Cool. Thomas?
I'm going to go 2-1 to Leeds. I think City are going to struggle to score depending on how well De Bruyne plays. If De Bruyne's on fire, then they've got a great chance. But if they haven't, because they've got no forwards or no fifth forwards at the moment, I think 2-1 Leeds. Or I'm dreaming, but that'd be a great score.
I'm going 2-0 Man City.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he might shore things up at the back a little bit. and he might try and stop them from scoring. I also think that if they're likely to get a couple of goals against Leeds. So anyway, I'm banking on the fact that City make a few changes and do something better at defence, because they've been absolutely useless. Surely he's got to see that as well.
Well, Laporte's going to come back in.
Yeah, and if Paddy's right, he won't do anything and they'll fail and they'll get hammered by Leeds, which would be good to
we
see.
Can't have Paddy being right.
I don't know. It's quite like that. I think that'd be funny to watch. Okay, next up is Newcastle versus Burnley at Newcastle. I'm going to go for 1-0 Newcastle. I think Newcastle are doing all right at the moment. They looked all right at the weekend. Tactically, they look a bit better. Your best mate, Thomas, is doing all right. Burnley don't look great. So I think a 1-0 for Newcastle.
I'm going to go for 1-1. I think there won't be many chances in the game. I don't think both teams create enough chances, but I do think they'll just get a goal each. And I don't know, Burnley are just one of them sides at the moment who'll just keep going and going and going. I think if they got Chris Wood up front, who seems to be a decent forward up front. Newcastle, Wilson seems to be on a bit of a run at the moment. They've just lost someone, Newcastle, a winger, who they bought from Bournemouth, is it? Who's the guy? He's got injured. He broke something on his collarbone or something.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's out. So yeah, I think a score draw, 1-1.
Okay, Thomas?
I think 3-1 to Newcastle. I think Newcastle, with the pace of Wilson up front and the St. Maxim, if he's fit, I think they'll get him behind Burnley, cut them open, and a fit Andy Carroll also will get on the score sheet, 3-1.
Oh, right.
Well, that'd be nice to see. Okay, now we're moving to Sunday. First game up is Leicester versus West Ham at Leicester. I'll kick off with this. I think Leicester will beat them 3-0. So I think West Ham will come out really confident. Leicester will get at them. They'll get an early goal. They're too fast on the breakaway for West Ham. West Ham are not great at the back. And I think they'll run away with it in the end, 3, maybe even more, because I think West Ham are not as good as they looked at the weekend. They look good for the game. Antonio looked good going forward, but they're not a good side. So I think Leicester will beat them 3-0.
Thomas, Tom?
I think they're going to cancel each other out. I think it's going to be a boring game. I think it's going to be 0-0.
All right.
Really do.
Daz?
I think 3-1 to Leicester. I think West Ham will get a goal. I think possibly from a set piece. And I think Leicester will have too much on the break. I think Maddison getting back playing, look good. Vardy is always going to be a threat against their West Ham defence. And I think they're just going to have a bit too much for them. And I don't think...
on Barnes?
Ashley Barnes, he played for West Brom on loan, I think, and then he was at Leicester. He's quick, he's good wide, cuts in onto his right foot. Decent player, got good pace. I'm not sure he's a starter for Leicester.
No, I don't think he is. I think he's got potential to be really good because he seems to move the right way. He makes the right decisions, but he's still pretty young. But yeah, he's a good up and comer. But Vardy's absolutely on fire. So yeah, you've got to tip him for a couple of goals. Okay, next game is Southampton versus West Brom at Southampton. Daz, what are you thinking?
I think Southampton will do that 2-1. I think Ings has got his goal. Southampton are very up and down, but I think there's enough quality there. West Brom don't look great at the moment. So I think there's not much there defensively. I think Southampton will just do them 2-1.
Thomas?
I've got a great 2-1 Southampton for me. I think West Brom will be buoyed with the 3 goals they scored and will come out and have a good go. And I think Southampton's quality in the final third will show towards the end of the game with Ings or Ward-Prowse getting on the score sheet.
Okay, I'm going to go for a score draw, probably 2-2. I think Ings will definitely get on the score sheet. I think that Diane Garner will do better in this game, will influence the game a little bit more, maybe grab a goal. But I think that could be a really good game, actually. I think it could go either way. They could be absolutely useless and cancel each other out, or it could be a barnstormer. I'm going for it being a decent game and being 2-2. Be good to see. Bilic might kick off again, which would be... yeah. And then the next game is Arsenal versus Sheffield United at Arsenal. I'll go first. Given the way Arsenal played against Liverpool and the fact that I want to come out and get a win again and the fact that Sheffield United look absolutely useless, I'm going for 4-0 Arsenal. I think Aubameyang will really show them up at the back. I think Lacazette will get a goal as well. They've got a couple of really good young players. I didn't think Maitland-Niles did that well against Liverpool, but I think he'll come good again and they'll beat them 4-0. Thomas?
I think Sheffield United will play every man behind the ball, close the space right down. I think Arsenal will struggle to break the blocks. Even fancy Sheffield. Do you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. Fancy Sheffield United to win 1-0.
He doesn't care, does he? Hey? No. And he hasn't had a drink. I'm going. Yeah. It looks like that all the time. Yeah. I'm going to go for, I think, 3-0 Arsenal. I think, Simon, I agree with you. I think they're just going to have a bit too much. They'll be hungry for it, Arsenal getting beat by Liverpool. They'll try and play at the back, out the back quite a lot. Sheffield United will again get men behind the ball, but they'll have to come out at some point because they need points on the table now. I think Arsenal will just do them.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, next game is Wolves versus Fulham. At Wolves, Fulham not looking great at the back. Daz, what are you thinking?
If I was Wolves, I'd just bring on, who's the guy who's really quick? I forget his name.
Traore.
I'd bring him on. I'd play him all game, just say, run at them. Because Fulham will either bring him down. Against Villa, they had about 3 or 4 yellow cards, kept bringing players down for free kicks. I think Wolves could win that by about 4 goals, 4-0.
Okay. Thomas?
2-0 Wolves. I think Wolves will bounce back. Fancy Jimenez with a goal. And like you said, Darren, I think they'll score from a set piece.
Okay, I'm going to go with 2-0 for Wolves. Same thing. I think Jimenez will get a goal. I think they'll just have too much for Fulham. Fulham are useless. Again, this could be more as well. They could run away with it if they're doing well in the first half. But I'm going to go for 2-0 for Wolves.
Just on that side, before, Scott Parker's come out and gone against what the owner said. So that's looking fragile at the moment, that relationship. He went. The owner came out and tweeted, like, we're going to go and buy no players. And I'm sorry for the performance. And Scott Parker went to say, you shouldn't have done that. There's a bit of friction there, so it'll be interesting what happens.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so the next game is a big one for the weekend is United versus Spurs at United. I think this is a difficult one. Daz, why don't you go first?
Thanks, Si. I think you'll probably get a 1-1. I think United will sit back. Tottenham, they rely on Son an awful lot to do creative work. Dele Alli's not playing because he's fell out with Mourinho. United will probably get a penalty.
Probably.
So I know they've booked one in. So I think this has got a draw 1-1 written all over it.
Thomas?
After watching the documentary, I really feel for Tottenham a little bit, but I think United are going to sneak it 2-1. I think Rashford on the break towards the end of the game. I think it'll be really tight. I think they both cancel each other out across midfield, one apiece, and then United will get a late goal later on, so 2-1 to United.
Okay, like that. So I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go 2-1 for Tottenham. Again, I've got a little bit of a soft spot for Tottenham now as well. But I actually think Son will get at them. And because of how slow they are at centre-half, I think Son may get a couple of goals here. Or Son will get a couple of chances and Kane will pick up the pieces. So I'm saying 2-1 Tottenham. But I do think it'll be a tight game, and I think it'll be a decent game as well. That's the R4 game on Sunday on Sky Sports. So that'll be a good one. And then obviously the big game for all of us over the weekend, not the South Liverpool game, but the Liverpool game, is Liverpool-Villa. At Villa. So I'm going to go with you first, Thomas.
Good lad.
Okay. So I am going to say Liverpool was so good on Monday. But I think in a game where you're not going to press us, you're not going to play out from the back, you're going to drop off behind the ball. We find it a little bit difficult to play against the teams that get every man behind the ball in their own half from the off. I think we may struggle to do 2-1, to be honest.
2-1 Liverpool, yeah.
2-1 Liverpool.
Daz?
Obviously, I want Villa to win.
Yeah.
But I think Liverpool will have too much for us. I think we started the season well. I think it'll be a great test for us. I think My heart's saying Villa will win 1-0. My head's saying Liverpool will win probably 2-0. And I'm going to go with my head.
Okay. So I'm going to go with Liverpool 2-1 as well. So I think the same as Thomas. I think we'll struggle because I think Villa will create a couple of banks of 4. They'll make it really difficult to play, but that will make it really difficult for Villa to get out. I think they might get a chance on the breakaway, but I do think Liverpool will have too much for them on the day and they'll win 2-1. It'd be great to see the front 3 in the midfield of Liverpool still playing well together and still pressing as high as they did. If they do that, I think Villa are really going to struggle to get out. But as we've seen, the better teams struggle when people park the bus and get 2 solid banks of 4, and then also get their centre forwards in their own half as well, defending.
Yeah. So what I would do if I was Villa, I wouldn't even try and play out the back, because I think that leads to mistakes, and Liverpool will high press it and they'll go for it. What I would do is look for those channels over Trent or over Robinson and get you forward to run into those channels and try and move up the pitch. That's the only chance I think we're going to have. If we try and play out the back, we haven't got those type of players to play that game, and I think we know that. So fingers crossed we get something from it.
I think if Liverpool score an early goal, then Villa we're onto a hiding. I think if Liverpool don't get the early goal and the game's tight, that's where I see the 2-1 coming in.
Yeah. I think you'll be lucky with the ball over the top of Robbo, but I think Grealish will play on Trent, and he'll try and get the ball down at every opportunity he's got and go at him. And I think Trent might come up trumps in this because he's fast. He'll have to defend a little bit more. Grealish is not going to catch him in behind with that ball over the top. But I think Grealish will get the ball and he'll play on Trent because I think that's his option. And he generally plays off the left as well. So I think that'll play well for Villa. It'll make for a good little duel. But yeah, 2-1 Liverpool. All right, so it looks like a decent weekend. I think that's a good weekend of football. 2 days. There's nothing on Monday, just Saturday and Sunday. There are 6 games on Sunday, and every single one of them is on TV.
Brilliant.
It'll be so much fun. I love that. All right, lads. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you soon, guys. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.